Hello. I hope everybody's doing great.
Yes.
Yes.
Y'all
We
should
ha-
hear these two before
We were laughing
we start
so
the live streams.
hard. We were
They're
laughing
just
so
laughing
hard.
and laughing and laughing, and they're just
I
giggling so hard
know.
they can't stop.
I know. Hi, Sachiko.
Sachiko,
Hi, Adam.
welcome. Adam
Adam is
welcome.
asleep. He's asleep.
Oh, Adam's asleep.
Yeah, but I mean, we would still say hi to him anyway.
Well, of
because-
course.
Yeah. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend. It's over. It is over.
The weekend is
What
already
happened?
over.
Don't say that. Ooh.
I know, but it'll be
Saturday.
okay.
I wonder if I can convince my boss tomorrow that it's Sunday tomorrow.
You can try.
Did you know it's only Sunday today? You're fired. Okay.
Okay, it's Monday. Yeah,
So
so
welcome everyone.
yes, welcome. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Did I already say that? Okay, so if you would kindly smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with everybody you know. Don't hesitate. There's no reason why you can't share the video, and there's no reason why you cannot subscribe to the YouTube channel, okay? However, we are also on Rumble, so please go there and start an account or follow the page. Give it a big thumbs up and support the channel because
help us reach more people.
yeah, support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invite other people.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about.
And
Don't
invite
tell them what the live
people.
streams are about. Make them come to the live streams to know what they're about.
Yes, invite your people. Say, come and check this out.
I think I will. Oh, it was so good.
Mm. We invited you, and look.
Hey, I know.
There you go.
Okay, so it is live. Do you think
I
it
don't
just
know.
needs to be?
It probably
refreshed?
just hasn't caught up yet.
Is that refresh?
You can hit refresh. Yeah.
Ooh.
And
There we
hey,
go.
There we
Okay.
are.
I'm always
We
afraid
are
I'm going to
live.
disconnect or something.
Everybody's sitting there watching
Yeah.
us going, what are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we're actually
Because
live.
it's live, so I know. And I'm running two chats. So I have the YouTube chat and I have the Rumble chat. And so I'm flipping back and forth. Hey, Jody. She said, hey guys,
Jody,
I'm here.
welcome.
I'm driving. I'm listening.
Okay.
Okay, be careful.
Yeah.
So
welcome and thank you for joining us. And Diane, if you want to
do your
do
spiel.
your thing.
I'm gonna try not to laugh. I can't help it, but it just sounds so funny. I watch it after the live stream is over, and I'm just laughing the whole time because I can laugh.
Up.
Yeah, I think it's so funny.
Hello, I'm Diane. And if you're like me, you like the truth. You're tired of being told lies. Lies are not a good thing. But I have some really good news for you people that are out there searching the internet over and over and over again, finding nothing but lies. Go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com. That's BibleProphecyandTruth.com. That's right. And the owner of the site, Dan, you can even get in touch with him. You can ask him all sorts of questions and he'll back things up with the Bible. You can give him comments. Just email him. Go ahead today at prophecyandtruth@gmail.com. Or even better yet, join us on youtube.com.
Who are you looking at?
Truth.
It sounds like an ad.
Go to
Didn't Jay say that?
rumble.com/Bible prophecy. Go ahead, do it.
Do it now.
Do it now.
No.
Sachiko said no sound effect today, Annie.
No sound
Wait a minute,
effect?
wait. What does she mean by that?
No echo?
Oh, no echo.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, the echo is really
Well, thank you, Diane.
That was an accident. The echo was an accident.
That was
Yeah,
on
we
purpose.
don't know why it was
sound effects. My laughing is the sound effects.
So, and I want to call out our family,
Mm-hmm.
those that are helping in the body of Christ. Everyone knows Diane. She's been with us, and she co-hosts with us, and she makes videos. And she spends her weekend laboring for the Lord, making videos. And Sachiko
Yes.
are the world's greatest graphic artist.
She
Sachiko.
is.
She
Yes.
is. She's awesome.
She
And we're going
is.
to be looking at some graphics that she did here in a little bit.
Yes.
She is amazing.
They are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and her husband Adam has been quietly in the background
Yes.
translating articles from BibleProphecyandTruth.com into Polish and sharing those with people
Yes.
and
Wow.
Yes, he is.
doing the work of God.
Yeah.
And so we absolutely love you all.
Yes. But what do we want to say?
I forget.
Kohamache.
Kohamache.
Kohamache. Adam.
Yeah.
And
We love you.
Sachiko. Which in Polska means we love you. We probably didn't say it right. But
Probably not.
Kohamache.
But this is,
Yeah,
and this is
Jay.
is
Yeah.
what, and welcome, Jay.
Mhm.
But this is what God calls us to do.
Mhm.
God doesn't call us to sit in a pew.
Mhm.
Sorry, He does not. He calls us to do His work. He calls us to be the body. He calls us to put on the armor and take up the sword of truth and be a soldier in this army.
Yeah.
And we're so happy that we have members of the body doing the work of God. And that's just, there's nothing better. It is awesome. And we thank you. We love you.
Yeah, and we're not alone because we have God sitting right there giving us the
Right.
inspiration.
That's right.
Right. And it's really weird because I pray for Adam and Sachiko all day long. I pray for my sister all day long as as they are working for God. And it's the same prayer that I pray for Annie and Sachiko, especially because they're like Annie's doing the videos and Sachiko is doing the graphic, like the pictures. And
Adam's out there.
Yes, and I'm
hitting the ground running.
Yes, and I
teaching.
always pray for knowledge and understanding and for God to use that talent to better the kingdom of God. And all three of them are just absolutely amazing on what they're doing.
So we love you, and we just want to recognize you.
So it's not
Kohamache,
right? It's Kohama Boss. I don't know. Kohama.
So Google was wrong.
I don't know. Well, it was just we don't know.
We went
We
to
don't
Google
know.
Translate,
But she
they
said we
it
love
wrong.
you too.
Again.
I know you do. We're trying. We tried. Kohamache is for one. Oh, we love you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Kohamache is saying that to one person.
Yeah.
Oh, or
Okay.
I love you. Maybe that's what it is. Kohamache is I love you. Okay.
Okay. Instead of we.
Instead of we. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
This is plural. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, Google Translate, they don't know anything.
Is this one that Sachiko did?
These are all.
Look at these.
This is the grand final mosaic, the big picture that God drew for us, and Sachiko has done an amazing job of creating this.
Yes.
It's just awesome.
She is.
Wow.
And so what we're going to do today, I'm going to start on a couple of news articles, and we're going to talk about this this video. It's on BibleProphecyandTruth.com. I have changed the initial page, so I've embedded this. It's using my local player on the website right now, which sometimes, if you're in a place that has slow internet, it may not come through. But I added this link here, which is to this new web server that I'm building. It's using the Rumble cloud services, and I've got my own Linux server running there, and I've got this video also on the top of it. So, and I just redid it. If you've seen the big picture, the final mosaic before, this is a complete remake that I just finished, and I'm using several new graphics that Sachiko did for it.
Yes.
And instead of me, tripping over my words and repeating myself, I have the super realistic AI doing the speaking for me. So it's hopefully it's better than it used to be. Definitely the graphics are better, and I've kind of used my own script and modified it a little bit, but it's really good, and hopefully it just helps people to just clearly see the truth and the pictures that God painted for us. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but I'm going to start today on the news, because there's just a couple things I want to talk about and get into, and then we'll look at how the big picture all fits into today. And there's just a couple of things on these. There's articles, there's fear mongering about the bird flu. Oh my gosh, there were 2 million chickens that were slaughtered because they were sick. And I just want to put it in perspective, because there's always been bird flus, and they're always talking about, it's going to transfer to humans, and they're always fear mongering. Well, just in the United States, 200 million chickens are consumed every single day. So 2 million chickens being slaughtered is like nothing.
Well, what was it in Texas? Was it the bird flu, or was it something else?
Well, there was the bird flu in a cow or something. I don't.
Bird flu. It was
something.
Yeah,
but
what was it?
But I just want to put it in perspective, because these things, granted, there could be something that comes from it, but there's just so much fear mongering. I just wanted to put that in perspective. That 200 million chickens are consumed every single day in the United States. So 2 million having to be slaughtered really is just a tiny little drop in the bucket of the amount of chickens that are
consumed,
harvested and consumed by the U.S. So I just want to put that in perspective for anybody who may have heard that. And then this is a thing, in Seattle, there's a bunch of illegal alien families have taken over this park in Seattle. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because and if you've been watching us for a few months now, we've talked a lot about, we've shown videos, we've shown a lot of articles about how they're actually busing them in, flying them in, boating them in. They've got checkpoints all along the way to help all these people get here. They give them money. They give them all kinds of, they basically pay. There's billions and billions of dollars being spent to get them here. Yeah. You got to understand this. They spend billions of dollars to bring these illegals here. They're spending massive amounts of money and manpower to get them here. And then what do? They lie to them with promises, and then they dump them off, and they're living in a tent in a park.
Yeah.
Where they're hungry. Why? So why did they spend all these billions of dollars to get them here just to dump them off? Is it because possibly they want them to be angry? Do they want to create division? They want to create chaos? Do they want them to become violent? I mean, these are questions that come to mind when Why are they doing this? Right?
It's like what I said before. Your enemy can get to you by causing chaos and confusion, and then we just all kill each other off.
Right.
It's
And that seems to be, they're trying to create a race war. Because you can't
so
hate minorities anymore. So now they've turned it into hating the only race that's not considered a minority. Is now you have to hate white people because it's okay to hate us, right? And they're trying to create racism and a race war, and they're using this to create chaos and division, and using it for exactly that, hoping that their plans will work out better than they did last time.
Mhm.
And that's kind of, we're going to talk about that a little bit too. They're definitely planning things. Their plans
do you
did
think
not
any
happen.
of it's for votes?
What?
Do you think
Well,
any of it's
certainly they're going. They're promoting this as they want us to believe that it's just for votes. But what? 10 million votes is not, when it's a landslide victory. 10 million votes is not going to tip the scales.
Hey, American.
Right. Hey, American.
DMX,
Welcome.
ready to meet him.
So, is it for votes? Well, certainly they're going to use it if they can, and of course they use every angle. But that using it for votes is just a way to pacify everyone, to say, well, this is what it's for. When in reality, what it's for is to do this, to create chaos, to create division, to create violence, to create a situation that is what's that? There's no law and order, right? Yeah. That's what they want. They want there to be no law and order, so that violence will erupt, so that chaos will ensue, so that they can what? Declare martial law, bring the military in, and create a way to control. That's what it's all about, is control.
Well, that's what's happening in New York right now. Is there's just fighting in the streets.
I know.
Just fighting.
It's chaos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, the Biden regime pushing for a peacekeeping force to what? Protect Hamas? To protect the terrorists?
Well, he's trying to get on everybody's side. He's playing both sides. He's playing every side of it.
And what they're using this? They're using the horrific murderers as a way to force their peace deal. They want to force it. They want to make it happen. Because as I've shown before, and I'm going to show it again, in Luke chapter 21, Jesus said, he said, when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Now, the desolation he's speaking of is the same one he talks about in Matthew 24 and Mark 13, and that Paul talks about in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It's when the Antichrist takes over the world. He's going to sit in the temple claiming to be God. He's going to have a false prophet doing miracles like pulling fire from the sky to support him and cause the world to worship him, to be deceived into thinking this man is from God. But what this simple little statement here doesn't necessarily mean that this is like a bunch of armies surrounding and attacking Israel. It doesn't necessarily mean that. And the reason I say that is because I see this as when the desolation is nigh, when the Antichrist takes over the world, it's going to be in the midst of the peace treaty. It's going to be in the midst of the confirmation of the covenant. Will start the final 7 years. And then the Antichrist is going to take over in the midst of that, in the middle of it, at 3.5 years in. When the desolation is nigh, it's going to be a period of peace. And it's going to be almost certainly, as we've seen how they're pushing this forced peace, where they're going to go in with United Nations peacekeeping troops and have armies in and around Jerusalem to force this peace deal, to force it. So that's what I see this as. When Jerusalem being compassed with armies is United Nations peacekeeping troops forcing the peace.
Americans said Rome destroyed the temple already. The second temple, right? Rome destroyed the temple.
Rome destroyed the second temple, but not the third, right? But that was 2,000 years ago. And it doesn't have anything to do with end time. It was prophesied by Jesus and it happened. But it's not part of the prophecy that he then talked about, which, in case you haven't seen this before, when Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and the disciples showed him the buildings of the temple. If we look at Mark 13, it says pretty much the same thing, that he went out of the temple. As he went out of the temple, the disciples says, see all these stones. So they were leaving the temple. And then that's when he prophesied that there would be not one stone left upon another. Then they went out to the Mount of Olives, which is a little ways away. It took them at least half an hour to walk there from the temple grounds to the Mount of Olives. So this is a different conversation. And that's what I talk about when I point out these things, when we're talking about these specific prophecies. This was a separate conversation from this one, because this was in the Temple Mount. This is on the Mount of Olives, where they asked him and said, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? He then answers that question, which has nothing to do with the temple being destroyed in 70 AD. So thanks for bringing that up, because that's a good point that needs to be made for everyone to understand that. It's one of those things in the false teachers where they teach so incorrectly about those statements from Jesus. So it's good to make sure everyone understands that. So this is what they're going to force this by, they want Biden's doing everything he can to get Israel to cease fire, to stop, to withdraw, and go along with their plans, and there's this peacekeeping force to protect the terrorists. At the same time, the terrorists are saying that the Jews are apes and pigs, as we've talked about many other times. It's in the Quran, it's in the Hadith and the Sunnah, where Muslims are taught that Jews are not even people. They're animals. They're these things that they're supposed to hate. And remember, this is Satan's entire plan, is to get the world to hate Jews, so that when he takes over the world with his Antichrist and starts slaughtering all the Jews, the world will be happy. And since October 7th of last year, we've kind of seen how that could happen. There's a lot of people that are already happy about the slaughter of Jews, because all of the propaganda has worked very, very well for Satan and Islam to get the world to hate the Jews, and we're already halfway there. So, and then we've got the Spain Prime Minister saying that he's about to recognize a Palestinian state. He's going to state that. He's going to make that an official declaration that Spain is going to recognize a Palestinian state. Now, it's important to remember that Palestine is not a state.
Yeah.
There's never been a Palestine nation. There's never been a Palestinian people. They don't exist. They call themselves that because before World War I, there was a region of the world in that area that was called Palestine. But it was just a region of the world that was mostly full of nomadic Arabs and very desolate land. And then after World War I, the League of Nations, after World War I, they designated Palestine, the region of the world, Palestine, as a place for Jews to return back to Israel. And then after World War II, that happened big time, where the Jews just clamored to get back to Israel, and Israel became a state at that point. And the world recognizes Israel as a state. Palestine has never been. It's now being touted as a state because
it's more of a region than anything, right?
Right, exactly. And that's what this whole two-state solution thing is. And that the thing that they're trying to force is this two-state solution where they're going to create a Palestinian state, make them an actual nation, draw the borders of Israel, and create this peace treaty. This is exactly what the Bible prophesies when it says that the Antichrist, the man of sin that's to come, will be among many who sign this peace treaty. And it'll be a peace treaty for 7 years. And it's going to happen. And in my mind, and we haven't seen it yet, but the way I see everything progressing and unfolding here is, especially with Jesus's comment in Luke 21, is that it's going to be a forced peace treaty because they've been trying for decades to get this peace treaty signed and everybody to quit fighting. But it's really impossible, because when you understand that Muslims are taught from day one to hate Jews,
but people
how do you get
that.
them to have peace with them?
And people have been, leaders have been saying that they don't want peace. The Muslim Gaza does not want peace.
Yeah, the
Hamas
Palestinian
does not want peace.
They don't.
Not even Gaza. They don't want peace.
They want to destroy Israel. That's their goal. They want to kill all the Jews. They don't want peace. They're not a peaceful, loving religion, as we're supposed to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got articles on my website about that. In case you're new to this and have not seen these before, please go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com.
I love that.
And go under the notes menu. And you'll see there's Islam in the Bible, which shows these duplicate exact prophecies that Satan created, where the exact opposite prophecies of the Bible duplicated by the devil, so that Islam will believe it's their prophecies when the Bible's prophecies come true. And then there's this article on, is Islam a religion of peace or violence? I'd really like anyone who thinks that it is a peaceful religion to look at this article and look at all the Quran verses that say that they're supposed to kill anyone who's not a Muslim. And then there's all kinds of information I have in here, quotes and documentation from modern day Muslims saying the very same thing. You say, well, it was just them back then. No, this is what they're teaching today. And so if you don't know that, please do check out this page on Violent Islam under the notes menu there. So, and then, Germany, during Ramadan, Germany and the UK are being overrun by Muslims, as well as France and, other countries are well on their way. No lessons during Ramadan because, they're not supposed to. And this is Germany. This is not an Arab, Middle Eastern country. This is Germany we're talking about here. And then, I know I've kind of not been talking about Nigeria because I bring it up almost every week, because constantly there are Muslim attacks and murders of people in Nigeria, because it's about half and half Muslim and Christian. Well, the Muslims are constantly attacking and murdering and taking as slaves the people, mostly women, that they will take as slaves. Um, we need to keep that in mind. This is what they do. This is Islam. This is the true face of Islam here. Um, and then in India, a woman leaves Islam for Hinduism, and the imam tells her she must return or they'll kill her. This is also Islam. If you try to leave Islam, they will kill you. It's kind of like leaving. If you were a member of a crime organization, everybody's heard about that. If you try to leave, the gangs, that they will kill you. Well, it's the same in Islam. You don't leave Islam; they will kill you.
They are a gang.
Yeah. And then this UCLA med students forced to pray to Mama Earth and scream free Palestine. And this is another one of Satan's false religions. This Gaia, which is the Earth, is supposed to be this entity that they pray to. It's a form of Druidism, is what it is. Yeah. And there's really a lot. It's a surprising amount of people that actually subscribe to that.
Oh, there's a lot. That's why I don't think it should be in school and stuff.
Well, and it's in movies.
Private schools.
It's in a lot of movies. It's in a lot of
Earth
stories.
Day.
Earth Day. Mother Earth. All of those things. Mother Nature. It all is part of this Druidism type of religion, and it's even what was that movie with where they went to that planet and the guy took on Avatar.
Oh yeah.
The Avatar movie is very much a Gaia religion type of thing that they're trying to make everybody, comfortable with.
It was just Avatar.
Yeah. So there's some more news I want to look at, but when we look at Islam and what Satan's doing, trying to get the world to hate Jews and how they're trying to force this two-state solution, why is it that we talk about that a lot? And so I really encourage everyone to watch this video, the new one that I just did, on the big picture, the final mosaic. It's just a remake, but it's, in my opinion, much better. Definitely much better graphics. But I want to look at these graphics that Sachiko made for us and point out all of these components. Because here's Daniel 7. Here's the 4 beasts that rise up out of the sea of creation. Right? They're all 4 of these beasts, which it tells us specifically in Daniel 7 that these are representations of kings and the nations that they rule. So they're modern nations and the rulers of those nations are what these animals are depicting today in the picture that God drew for us. And so we've got the lion, the bear, the 4-headed leopard, and this 10-horned, great and terrible, monstrous beast.
I like that beast better than the other one we saw.
I know, that's really
It
cool.
doesn't say what kind of beast it is. It just says a beast.
A beast. Yeah. And that's what it looks
scary.
like.
Yeah. And then in Revelation 13, we see those same beasts, the 4 separate kings and nations of Daniel 7, become one in Revelation 13 as the military and political power base of the Antichrist. And you can see there's lots of components here. We've got the beasts, the lion, the bear, the leopard, the 10-horned beast, and then we've got this green horse.
Yeah.
And the red horse and the white horse and the black horse and Catholicism and Islam, and how all these things roll together into this big picture that God painted for us.
Now we have our own picture.
Yeah.
Because the other
awesome.
one, the
old one was just I tried to. Well, actually, the one of the animals I actually bought. I bought those, but then I kind of added some text to them, but they weren't very good. These are awesome.
Oh, look at that.
But this is where she ties all of these together, like I had on the really crappy video or crappy pictures, where it's so much better. It shows us the beasts and their relationships to other prophecies, like the seals, the 6 seals of Revelation. the first four seals, I should say, or the four horsemen of Revelation, as everyone knows them to be, is a parallel prophecy of Zechariah chapter 6. It shows the same colored horses, where they're horses and riders in Revelation, they're horses with chariots in Zechariah. But when we put these two prophecies together, we see that they're spirits that are in the world, that have been in the world for a long time, and are basically controlling the mindsets of the people, the world views and the cultures and societies and the way people think under these spirits. And it's a very complex, multifaceted painting that God painted for us.
American has a question. He said, any connection to the four horsemen released from Euphrates? Is there a connection?
The four angels that are released from the river Euphrates in the sixth trumpet are not the same. No.
They're the spirits.
No. They're angels that are bound for an hour and a day and a year for a very specific purpose, which is to slay a third part of men. At the end of the sixth trumpet is what it's going to be, because the sixth trumpet shows us that there's going to be a war, and there's going to be 200 million soldiers in this war, which China can field an army of 200 million. They have that many men of military age that if they were to draft and create an army, they could create an army of 200 million. Now they're not the only country today that could do that. But when we look at all the other things about that in that sixth trumpet, the things about that army and the horsemen that are in the army, the jacinth, which is a red-orange gem, the dragon-like, the lion-like faces and things like that, it very much fits China.
Revelation 9:15.
Revelation 9:15. So let me see what you're talking about exactly. So yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. It's the four angels that are prepared to slay the third part of men. And these are angels. These are not the same
as the spirits,
as the horsemen, and they're actually a different prophecy. Yes. So, but that's a good point. Is there's other facets to these. One of the things I don't have in this is the trumpets, because we have to remember that in Daniel 7 it tells us that these beasts, or these kings and nations, will exist at the time of the end. They will exist when Christ returns.
Islam.
And that's what I'm sorry?
Islam? That's what he said.
No. I don't believe so. But so the reason that I don't talk about the trumpets in this is because the trumpets are warnings and judgments of God. The first four trumpets are almost certainly warnings from God. Wake up, right?
Yes.
The last three trumpets are the three woes. They're definitely judgments of God. They're very horrific worldwide events that are going to, there's going to be a lot of catastrophe from those. The last woe is the return of Christ and the wrath of God. But what we're talking about here is these kingdoms that will exist at the time of the return of Christ, and how Daniel 7 and Daniel 2 and Revelation 13 and Revelation 17 all tie together with the 10 kings of this fourth beast, which, when you bring up Islam, that's exactly what this 10th, the 10 toes are. This 10-horned beast is a alliance of 10 Islamic kings that are going to give their power to their Mahdi when he comes on the scene. We see it in Daniel 7, Daniel 2, Revelation 13, Revelation 17, the clay of Daniel 2, and the fourth beast of Daniel 7. This is the 10 nations. They're going to be 10 Arab nations that will accept the man that claims to be the Mahdi as their Muslim Mahdi that the world is awaiting for. the Muslims of the world are in universal anticipation right now, just waiting for the Mahdi to come on the scene. And that's what they're waiting for. And that's what this man is going to claim to be. And that's what, when we put all of these prophecies together, the pictures that God painted for us, it becomes, we take all of these individual pieces and they come together in this one grand mosaic, this final grand painting that God painted for us. And this is why he said in Daniel chapter 12, he said, the words are closed up and sealed until the time of the end. Because they weren't closed up and sealed forever. They were only closed up and sealed until the time of the end. And now that we're at the time of the end, we can see what these pictures represent very easily. Especially, I've been talking about this a lot lately because ever since October 7th, we can see how the world is actually starting to turn sympathetic to Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Especially very recently, we've had some very, notable, very popular talk show people, podcasters that are now starting to say, well, Islam is really just not what it was touted to be. And turning, we've got they're not actually, some of them aren't actually saying that we need to hate the Jews, but that's the way they're starting to lean, right? And that's because that's the propaganda that Satan has been pushing on the world for decades now through Islam, through the Palestinian Liberation Organization. There's so many lie after lie after lie after lie after lie.
Yeah.
Whenever there's any news article, they always spin it to make the Jews the bad guys in every situation, even though many, many times the Jews are actually the victim. But they spin it to be somehow the Jews' fault, and the Jews are supposed to be controlling the world, and the Jews this and the Jews that, and we're supposed to hate them. And that's why there's so many people that actually do hate the Jews, that actually believe that the Jews are responsible for everything. And that's what I talk about. If you go to my playlists on YouTube or on Rumble, or if you go to videos .prophecyandtruth.com, I've got this new video, but then I've got this modern day biblical prophecy connections. There's 4 videos here on the stage being set, the end game agenda, who is the puppet master and who is they. If you watch those 4 videos, you'll understand what I'm talking about, that this whole thing is orchestrated by Satan. This is not the elites. This is not the Freemasons. This is not the secret society. Those are all just puppets of Satan. The deep state is just a puppet of Satan. And they're puppets of the highest level people in this secret society, that the ones that are actually worshiping Lucifer, sacrificing children to Lucifer, doing all of these things to gain power, they think. And that all the things they did in the last 4 years, they were trying very, very hard to force this and to tip the scales to give them absolute control, and it's been utter failure. Thank God. Mm-hmm. And we do have God to thank for that, because it's the lying wonders of Satan. It's these tools that he has in his hands that he's using for this that are unable to proceed because, as it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, God has his hand in the way. Yeah. God is not going to lift the restraint until he's ready at that penultimate moment when he will be able to save as many people as possible before we would actually destroy ourselves. Mm-hmm. Because Jesus said that there would be no flesh saved if the days weren't shortened, if the time wasn't set to be where it is in prophecy and where it is in time, we would actually kill ourselves off. That's how smart we are. There would be no flesh saved, he said, because we would actually destroy the human race. We're that stupid.
American said, isn't the third woe when Satan is cast out of heaven? Revelation 12:12.
The fifth trumpet. Or you mean the
Third
third woe?
woe.
Sorry, the seventh trumpet.
Mhm.
Actually, Satan is cast out of heaven in Revelation 12.
Yeah.
Where if you read that, remember it says that there's going to be 3.5 years that he's really, really angry. He's cast to the earth having great wrath because he knows that his time is short. He knoweth that he hath but a short time. And it tells us that there's going to be a time, times, and half a time from the face of the serpent, that Israel is basically kept from being totally destroyed. And so we see a time is a year, times is 2 years, and half a time is half a year. I've got some documentation on that 3.5 year period. It's the same 42 months that we see in Revelation 13 that the Antichrist is in power, where he's given power for 42 months, which is 3.5 years. We're also given 1,260 days. Time times and half, the same thing in Daniel, same period of time. So there's a 3.5 year period at the time of the reign of the Antichrist, when the Antichrist sits in the temple of God claiming to be God. At the 3.5 year mark of the final 7 years, that's when Satan is cast to the earth here in Revelation 12. And that's when I believe he's actually going to pretty much possess this man. Whoever this man turns out to be, he's going to sell his soul to rule the world. He's going to be a tool of Satan. And we have 3 spirits that were shown that are of the dragon, which is Satan, because that's what it tells us right here. The great dragon, which is the devil and Satan. This is going to be Satan himself that gives his power to the Antichrist. We see that it's the dragon that gives his power to the Antichrist. So Satan's going to be cast to the earth, and he's going to use this man to rule the world. That's when his Antichrist is going to take over the world at that point.
American said, is it possible the fake Jews will be destroyed and Christians will reclaim Israel?
Well, right now, true Christians, those that love Jesus, are the true Israel. We are the true heirs of the promise. We are the Messianic Jews, are the tree of believing Jews that is retained by God. And we as Gentile Christians are grafted into that tree. We are the true Israel, those that love Jesus, Messianic Jews and true Christians. And I say true Christians because there's so many false, fake Christians out there. Those that really love God, that are obedient to him, are the true Christians. Yeah. So what the Bible tells us, and that's a good point, because in Zechariah chapter 12, we see that there's going to be 2/3 of it was here somewhere, maybe in, this is where they recognize Jesus. Maybe it's in chapter 13, I think. Oh yeah, it's in chapter 13. Sorry. That 2/3 of the fake Jews, as you call them, they're not fake Jews so much as they're just hewn off the tree by God because they don't believe in Jesus. They're truly blood descendants. As Jesus said, you are children of Abraham, but your father is the devil, because they're blood descendants of Abraham, but they are following the devil and his lies. So they're not really fake Jews. They're just hewn off the tree by God, the tree of believing Jews. And then 2/3 of them are going to die during the Antichrist's hunting down and killing of all Jews and Christians that he can get his hands on. Yeah. But then during the 1,000-year reign, he's going to bring the third part through the fire and refine them. That'll be during the millennial reign of Christ that happens. So there's a lot to these prophecies that all tie so much together. I didn't plan on talking about all of that today, but it's good you bring them up because it's helpful to see all the different parts and pieces. But the ones that I'm focusing on today are these particular ones that show us the political and military power base of the Antichrist, but also the religious power base where, the Vatican and false Christians are all touting this interfaithism, all religions worship the same God nonsense. But Muslims don't believe that. Muslims do not believe in interfaithism. It's going to be a submission of Christianity to Islam when the Antichrist takes over. And for all those people that believe that they can be a Muslim and still be saved, they're going to be lost, just like all the Muslims, when they take the mark of the beast and make an oath to follow his kingdom. That's what the mark of the beast and the it's going to come with an oath. It's going to come with a pledge to either convert to Islam or make an oath to, submit to the new world order that the Antichrist will put in place. But this is what his kingdom's going to look like. And so I really encourage everyone to watch the video that I did. This final, if you go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com, it's right at the top of the page there. And then, like I said, I've got this link to my other server that I'm creating right now. If you have a hard time watching the video here, I know that this is kind of a little clunky player, but it does seem to work, but sometimes it doesn't so well. So go ahead and click that link if it does give you problems. But watch that video and it might help to really understand. And then go to the link or go to my playlists, either on Rumble or on YouTube. And there's a number of playlists there about the end time prophecies, the core videos. There's tons of videos you can watch there that will help you understand all of these things. I've been making them for years and years now. I'm working on redoing them. Some of the older ones, just like the mosaic, the big picture. I just redid that. Sachiko is working on the 4 Horsemen graphics for me, so I'm going to redo that one next. And then I've got down at the bottom of this page, I've got understanding prophecy, and that's part of the core videos and the playlists on YouTube and Rumble. But I'm going to be adding them all here too as I continue to build out this server. But I've got a bit of work to do still to get SSL installed on it and all that. But it's functional right now, and I'm going to be adding videos, so you're welcome to watch them there. So watch that video and watch the other videos and spend some time, digging through my website. I've tried to, on my website, I've created buttons. I know there's a lot of stuff on the front page, but if you scroll down to where this little menu is, I've created these buttons where you can just start reading. And when you click the button, it goes to chapter 1. And you can read chapter 1, go to the next chapter, which is the prophecy is fulfilled in Christ, and then go to the next chapter. I've built these buttons where you can pretty much read my website like a book and just read through the whole thing. If you're a new Christian, or if you've been a Christian for a while, but you've never actually read the Bible yourself and never actually studied these prophecies yourself, it will help dispel a lot of the lies that maybe you've heard from the pulpit. Maybe you've heard from other YouTubers, or maybe you've heard from other people that go to church that have been deceived by the lies of Satan that he has in the churches. If you've been with us for a little while, then you know that we've recently done some live streams on this very thing. And I want to go to the all here because there's a summary of the 24 of lies of Satan that I talk about in the live streams. We did like 4 different separate live streams talking about the lies of Satan in the church itself. Actually, more than 4 or 5. There were several live streams we did on that. And those are just the lies that are in the church. And then prior to that, I did this Great Lie series where you have to go to page 2 on Rumble to go to the first one. This Great Lie series here is the lies of Satan in the world and the false religions and these false prophecies created with all these false religions, how they match perfectly with the Bible. Because Satan knows the prophecies of the Bible better than anyone. And he's created these false religions with these false prophecies that match the Bible exactly. Perfect mirror, so that when the Bible's prophecies come to pass, all the Muslims of the world are going to think it's their prophecies. Satan has them so deceived that they're going to see the Bible coming true, the prophecies of the Bible coming true, and think it's theirs, and think that the Antichrist is their good guy, their Mahdi. So definitely check those out.
I wanted to say real quick hello to Mix Videos.
Oh, hey, Mix.
And
Nice to
he
see you
said
again.
one day we will translate in Hindi too.
Oh, awesome. You're welcome to. Adam has been, he translated the inception of the Catholic Church, a very long article, and he's been working on other articles, translating them into Polish for those in Poland that he can help to understand the truth. And everyone is welcome. All of my stuff is free. You can download the PDFs of my book for free. You can do anything. Anyone is welcome to reproduce the articles on my websites for the service of God. So please do. God bless you. All right. So I wanted to go through that a little bit because I just think that if you watch that video, you'll gain some understanding.
Her hat. She looks so. Is she supposed to be a student? Because she looks way older.
I think this is actually the teacher that was telling them, that was forcing her students.
I respect the need to wear a hat, but
she was forcing her students to pray to Mama Earth and scream "Free Palestine."
I know, but
yeah. Well, I know, maybe it isn't. Well, no, it's Lisa.
Lisa, tiny gray curtain.
Yeah. So, just weird stuff.
Yes.
So, there's a couple things I wanted to.
Yes, it is Mixed Videos. I'm always surprised to see that Bible also comes with copyright. I don't know how human gets copyright for God's word.
I know, exactly.
I know, yeah, and the website is free.
That amazes me as well.
Yeah, so you can translate it.
You can't reproduce the Bible. You got to pay somebody for that. Give me a break, man. But here's another piece of that puzzle that I was talking about.
That guy,
John Kirby, trying to explain how Israel can decapitate Hamas leadership and end the ideology. It's like, well, hold on. Are you that daft?
Kirby.
You can't end Islamic ideology. There's almost 2 billion Muslims, and they all have the same ideology. It's not just a few, it's not just Hamas. Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, all of those organizations are all just Islamic organizations, all doing the same thing because that's what Islam is about. You can't end that ideology. They're mindless, empty-headed, but maybe they're just propagating the lies of Satan, right? Which is what they're doing. They're either deceived or deceiving. And Hamas is just Islamic ideology. So wanted to bring that up. I'm going to show that later. But so let's go back up here a little bit, because Jay actually was showing me how research he's done on cancer is that parasites may be responsible for cancers. And that's when your immune system is compromised and your body no longer has the ability to fight off parasites, they create cancers in your body in cancerous areas. And it, talking about, I've seen videos of people using dewormer, which is what ivermectin is it was touted as a horse dewormer, but there's a human dosage that has been around for literally decades. This has been around for a long time, and there's been prescriptions for humans for a long time
This is
for
okay on
fighting off.
YouTube.
Well, it's just I don't see why not.
Okay.
I'm not. The thing I'm making sure you understand here is that I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice.
No.
I'm just showing you some articles. I'm talking about what Jay has shown me in his research
Yeah.
that parasites, if you kill the parasites, your body can then heal itself and heal the cancers, those areas of your body that have been poisoned. So, and I'm just seeing, and ever since Jay talked to me about that, I've been seeing article after article about this same very thing. So this is Facts Matter. This is from the Epoch Times, and this is an article on how ivermectin is actually a powerful drug for fighting cancer, and they show the evidence of it. The Epoch Times, if you're interested. And then there's this monoclonal antibodies that they're doing this trial on, where 100% of the cancer patients were in remission after doing monoclonal antibodies. Because why? What did I just say? It's your body's immune system can no longer fight the parasites. Well, if you increase the immune system, if you kill the parasites, your body can then heal. Monoclonal antibodies give you and strengthen your immune system. Killing the parasites through drugs that kill parasites can help your body heal. So I'm just showing you these things because they're articles that are on the internet that anyone can read.
Yeah, we're not telling you to do this.
I'm not giving anyone medical advice. I'm just showing you this for you to research on your own, because I've really been researching it and I found that this is pretty cool stuff. I mean, there might actually be cures for cancer that they're not telling us about because they want us to, they want to make billions of dollars on their drugs, medical procedures that don't actually save anyone. Did you know that if you get cancer, the statistics are that if you take, what is that? Not radiation, but the, what is it they give you? Chemotherapy. Yeah. That really, there's only about a very small percentage of people that chemotherapy actually even helps. But they spend billions of dollars on it. And it doesn't even, your chances of surviving with chemotherapy are only like 13% or something like that.
Americans said he'd try that before chemo and radiation.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm just showing you this because this is stuff that I found on the internet and was, shown by Jay, some articles and some research that he did. That's just, it looks like good stuff to research to me. So, yeah. And then here's this thing. I read an article that exposed the most troubling phenomena of our time, how anti-Semitism has become a unifying bond between individuals and groups who hold vastly different views. The far left and the far right are being unified by hate Jews, hate the Jews. It's bringing the world together. This is Satan's, the lying wonders of Satan, getting the world behind him to hate the Jews, so that when he does get cast to the earth, having great wrath, he can slaughter all the Jews and Christians he wants, and the world will be cheering him on.
That's right.
That's his plan.
That sure is.
And that's actually what the Bible says is going to happen. Yeah.
Wow, we're literally seeing prophecy right now.
Yeah, unfolding right before our eyes.
Prophecy.
Yeah. Wow. And there's this article was about, the lies that Israel is starving Gazans.
Yeah, and it's not true.
Is an outright blatant lie.
They're stealing it.
They're doing everything they can to help the Gazans, and it's Hamas that's actually stealing the aid, and keeping it from them. Yes, they are. Yeah. Anyway, it's Satan. This is Satan. This is his work. This is the world believing the lying wonders of Satan. And then I wanted to bring this up again because, I think it was Wednesday, I talked about, racism and how, God doesn't see skin color. I don't see skin color. I see people. I see souls.
I see souls.
I see lost souls that need Jesus. I don't care what your race is. You can't change that.
Yeah.
You know what I care about is how you act, because that you can change. You can't change the color of your skin. You can't change how tall you are. You can't change any your historical genealogies. You can't change that. You're just a person.
Right.
You can change how you act. but here's what the woke are actually doing to create this. They're creating more problems for people, trying to create this chaos and this hatred and this division. And it's like they're scaling back child abuse reporting at Mass General Brigham in Boston, Massachusetts hospital. That they're no longer going to report babies who are born with drugs in their system, because the vast majority of those babies are from colored women that give birth. So they're just not going to report it, because it disproportionately affects Black people, because it's mostly the Black people that are having children that are addicted to drugs. So instead of fixing the problem or helping the situation, they're just going to not report it, which is going to do what? Just make the problem even worse. And it's crazy.
Babies.
I know, it's like these poor children are born addicted to drugs. I'm not even going to go there. There's so much they could do to actually combat drugs, but they want us to all be addicted to drugs. I'm going to show you this little video. I talked about this Wednesday because, as this guy says, the idiocy and conspiracy surrounding the eclipse. And I'm going to play this video real quick because I don't even know who this guy is. It's a video on Rumble that was somebody copied from TikTok or something, but this guy's actually pretty much spot on. And he talks about how this, eclipses happen all the time. Eclipses are happening constantly. It's just a total eclipse over a certain area of the planet happens on occasion in different parts of the world. It's nothing but a shadow, and it does nothing. It does nothing to the earth. It doesn't cause weather. It doesn't cause any earthquakes. It doesn't do anything.
I know.
But there's all these conspiracies, and I want to play the video for you, because at the end he really kind of hits the nail on the head too. So I'm going to play this for you real quick. And for some reason, the Brave browser will never play these. So let me open it up here. I'm going to have to reinstall Brave or something. I don't know why it won't play anything. So let me go ahead and play this.
Something major happens during the eclipse.
Oops.
They did it.
Let me start it over here.
Good afternoon, folks. I hate that I have to make this video, but here we go. With the solar eclipse happening in a few days and about 1 billion conspiracy theories going around the internet, let's break down one thing that's relatively stupid and then something legitimately concerning. First, just when I thought I'd heard it all, I found a new level of internet lunacy the other day. Someone was saying that this entire eclipse thing is fake because the purported track of the shadow is going the wrong way, they said. Their quote, "Look at how the shadow goes west to east. That's not how the sun moves. The sun moves east to west over the earth. So this entire thing must not be real." Yeah, I'll take a moment to do this one in visual form. Shadows go the opposite way of the light source. For this, I need a desk, a pencil, and the flashlight on my phone. I'm moving the light back and forth, and we're going to see what the shadow of the pencil does. In this example,
So I'm going to skip forward a little bit. He spends a little bit too much time on this. You can see how the light goes the opposite direction of the shadow, and that's the point he's making.
Right.
And there's like millions of people that believe this
2
conspiracy.
million views on Twitter.
Yeah,
Yes,
millions.
this is what you are supposed to see. When the light moves one way, the shadow moves the other. So
Yeah.
yes, the shadow should be projected moving west to east,
Yeah.
and the northern track that we have is due to Earth's tilt at this time of year relative to the sun.
Exactly. So he's spot
But
on
the
there.
serious thing I want to mention, we all know the thing they pulled the last time an election year came around. I have
Yes.
been waiting for another one this year. A virus isn't going to cut it this time. So what's the plan?
Yeah.
That's a good question, and I don't know the answer, but I can tell you this, they're running out of time. Now, eclipses happen 2 to 5 times a year. That's every year. They don't cause calamity or earthquakes or even have more than a mild psychological impact. Shooting sounding rockets into the ionosphere happens all the time, and this is not the first time NASA has done it during an eclipse. All of their missions get weird names, by the way. But I would not put shenanigans past the government, especially after living through the last 4 years. I can assure you of this. If something major happens during the eclipse, they did it. I'm just going to say it plainly like that.
So that's what I wanted to point at. You know, he does a really good job of explaining how stupid it is, these theories, the conspiracy theories about
Well,
this.
what could they do?
But it's like he said, if something weird happens, it's because they did it, right? They're going to cause something, and they are going to turn on the CERN collider during the eclipse, and you know, they've actually recorded Satan worship. What's the word I'm looking for?
Luciferians.
What?
Luciferians.
Yeah, Luciferians doing their things,
Chanting things.
Their
rituals.
Thank you very much. And they're saying that they're going to be doing these rituals again. They're trying to, you know, find the God particle or whatever it is. You know, and it's stuff like this that Jesus had to shorten the days for, because we probably really would create a black hole or something stupid, blow up the whole planet, you know, because that's how dumb we are playing with stuff like this.
I ain't that dumb.
Then we just blame it on aliens.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, that one's coming too. Okay.
Oh,
That one is definitely coming too.
But there is a lot of talk about, you know, there's a lot of reports that, you know, these organizations, the secret society, is going to be doing stuff, you know, performing these rituals and things, trying to gain power. Because remember, the last 4 years was supposed to do way more for them than it did. It didn't work out quite as well as they'd hoped, as Bill Gates is quoted saying. And it's just they're going to ratchet up a notch, right? They're going to go all out. There's no way they're going to just let things die off. They're going to continue trying to let this go. You know, and so that's what I wanted you to hear that second part, because that, you know, he's spot on. They're going, if something happens, it's them. It's not because of the eclipse. Because eclipses, like you said, happen all the time. There was a total eclipse that came over the U.S. in 2017, and there was nothing that happened. You know, this is just a shadow.
Total?
Yeah.
A total eclipse? Maybe
it wasn't over the U.S. It might have been over some other part of the world.
I've seen an eclipse before years ago, and it's like big deal.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was
like a cloudy day.
I remember when I was in grade school, they had us make these boxes with tin foil and mirrors so we could watch the eclipse one time. You know, and that's what a lot of people are doing. These states of emergency that these places are declaring is because they're expecting so many people to come watch the eclipse that they need extra manpower to, you know, police it and all that.
Oh yeah.
So
because people are traveling across the United States just to be there.
And then come to find out that in Texas, where it's supposed to pass, it's supposed to be cloudy.
So they're not going to be able to see anything anyway.
And
I saw that.
And it's just all it is it gets a little, the light gets dim because the moon passes in front of the sun, and it'd be like a really dark, cloudy day, right? You know, it'll just it'll look like sometimes in the middle of the afternoon, if there's really dark clouds, it gets kind of dusk.
I have to turn my lights
and that's
on.
all that's going to happen is it's going to be like dusk for a little while until the shadow comes away.
It is like a couple hours. It's a couple hour
Couple
process.
hours, yeah, but it's not going to be anything.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if you heard about this. There's a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in New York, which was a big deal because they usually don't have them that large. And I wanted to show you this again. We've been looking at this periodically. This is the last day of 2.5 plus earthquakes, 43 earthquakes
Just today
in the last 24 hours. Yeah.
they
43
never happen in Florida.
If you go to the last 7 days of 4.5 plus, 142 earthquakes in the last week. And these are 4.5 plus magnitude. If you don't know this, each level of magnitude for an earthquake, like from a 4 to a 5, is 10 times stronger. A 4 to a 5 is 10 times stronger. A 5 is 10 times stronger than a 4. If you go to a 6, it's 10 times stronger than a 5. So when you get up to a 7, that is a major earthquake.
I saw a video where this guy is in a swimming pool when the earthquake happened.
I saw that too.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
Because it's the plates that are just slightly shifting and it causes the tremor on the surface. And when there's more of a shift and a jolt, it causes big problems on the surface.
They're a little bit behind on Rumble, so I'd rather.
Okay.
American said I heard CERN was going to fire up the Collide tomorrow.
Yeah, didn't I say that? I was talking about the CERN collider. They're going to turn it on.
I didn't hear.
They're going to turn it on during the eclipse.
Say CERN.
Yeah, and this is where they're going to be doing their satanic rituals. They actually do satanic rituals at the CERN complex while they've got the collider on, thinking they're going to open some kind of portal. What do they think they're going to let in if they were to succeed? These people are so insane.
Go to your job. You still got to go to your job. I was hoping maybe people at my job would say, well, we're going to take off an hour. Be like, yay.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
No.
But yeah, they are turning on CERN. Now, it could just be a coincidence that, because CERN is not located in the United States. So the total eclipse going over the U.S. is not going to be in, where is it, Scotland or someplace where CERN is? It's not going to be, they're not going to have the eclipse there. So it may just be a coincidence that they're turning it on this day. Or maybe, maybe all the Satan worshipers really do think that this is some kind of event that they can get more power from. Because this is what they do. They do these rituals and they actually sacrifice people, children, to gain power from the life force of the sacrificed child. The stuff that they do in these rituals is just horrific. If you've ever studied, and this is not a conspiracy theory, people.
No, it's real.
This actually does happen. Yes, people literally do these things. Trying to gain power for themselves. They kill some children. Movie. It's insane. I can't even imagine. But it actually, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is fact. They do these things. In case you hadn't heard about that, a 4.8 is a fairly strong quake. It's not enough to knock buildings over, really, but it'll shake them, and I think there was some damage that was done. But that's approaching a 5, which is 10 times stronger than a 4. And so it was pretty strong for New York. Yeah.
What was the one that was 7 something that knocked over the building? Where? That was
in Taiwan.
Taiwan. Yeah. That's where it was.
Yeah, if you look at this
Oh, wow.
thing, if you go 7 days, you actually see that here in Taiwan.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
It was a 7.4.
Yes, that was a bad. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, and
on the
it
second.
knocked over
5 days ago.
buildings.
Yeah. And remember, we looked at this. We looked at this Wednesday because
Look at that in
these
around
are
Taiwan.
all the earthquakes that happened. There was like 40 earthquakes
In one
that all
day.
happened in like one day there, and a couple of
Yeah.
strong ones. Like there's a 6.4, 7.4, a bunch of fives. You know, just
Dang.
tons of earthquakes.
I hope Taiwan
If we look at
doesn't.
only these, and there was 57 of them there
I hope they don't
in the last week, in the
end
last
up
7 days.
Now, doesn't it like cause
Well, it causes
tsunamis?
tsunamis when they're out in the water. Yeah, it'll cause waves. Yeah, and cause tsunamis. Yeah.
I hope they
So-
don't get. I hope that they don't sink. I hope it
Taiwan.
doesn't or
That's why,
flood.
that's why I
Yeah.
was saying that I was going to put off finishing the video this weekend because every time I make a video, something really cool happens.
I
and it's like,
know.
oh, I could have used it.
Could have
Well,
used that in
maybe
the video.
China
yeah.
won't want Taiwan if they're underwater.
Well, Taiwan's very mountainous. It would take a lot to sink Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very high mountains, but
Oh.
it could. I mean, it could cause a lot of problems for Taiwan. Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up. The U.S., Britain, and Australia are weighing expanding the security pact against China. Worried about war, maybe? Worried about China?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
We've been talking about that for a while, how China's 100-year plan, they're accelerating that. Because now's the time, right? America is weak. And they're close to their 100-year plan. And there was talk about, people thinking that they're actually going to accelerate the plan and just try to make it happen now.
And more elites are selling their home, $1 million homes.
Yeah,
They're
and
just
building
selling
bunkers.
them like
what do they know?
crazy.
They know something, right?
They're all getting
Yeah.
out of their homes.
Yeah, and they're building bunkers, doomsday bunkers. Yeah. And we've talked about this. If you haven't done any preparing at all for any type of emergencies, you have at least 2 weeks of food and water, at least bare minimum. Just try to be prepared to at least survive
Yeah.
if something does happen.
That would be a really, really smart thing to do.
So yeah, the U.S., Britain, and Australia are worried about China. Imagine that. Again, are they trying to force the peace issue? The Biden regime planning to label goods made by the Jews in Judea and Samaria, which is the West Bank, to boycott them, to try to force this issue. That's what they're doing all these things for. They're trying to force the issue so they can make them sign a 2-state peace agreement. They're trying to make it happen. Yeah.
Thanks,
Oh,
Joe.
and then thanks, Joe. Rockets from Gaza were fired at Israel for the first time in months, since he's doing everything he can to make them stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamas has been empowered by Biden, forcing Israel to withdraw. Now, they did just withdraw from southern Gaza, but it wasn't
to force them.
right. They did just withdraw from southern Gaza, but it wasn't because Biden made them do it. It was because they're preparing for another offensive on the
Somewhere
coast.
else, yeah.
Yeah, so they're pulling all their ground troops out of there. And then, we've been talking about Ramadan, how they were threatening and making claims that they were going to do all these attacks during Ramadan. We saw the one in Russia, but we haven't really seen anything. But we see that, that they destroyed an ISIS terror cell in Jerusalem planning attacks there. So, it's not because they're not planning any, it's just that they're not able to execute. They're getting stopped, right? So hopefully there won't be any, right? We don't want this violence. We don't want Israel to kill people. We don't want Hamas to kill people. We don't want any of these things. We see people that are lost that need Jesus. And that's all I see. When I see all this, I see Satan doing his work, trying to destroy, trying to create chaos. I see Satan and his lying wonders fooling so many people. People are just absolutely deceived, so much so that there's nothing you can do to convince them.
No, they're catatonic. You know,
And
they're like zombies just.
And it's the lying wonders of Satan.
Yeah.
And it's
so sad.
You know, as it says in 2 Thessalonians, that God said that if you don't have a love for his truth, that he will send a strong delusion that you will believe the lying wonders of Satan. Yeah. And we're seeing this supernatural dumbness, as I call it, happen all over the world right now, where the lying wonders of Satan are just people, they have people completely, utterly blinded. Yeah. That's just, it's supernatural, and it really is.
Derangements and
so yeah, they're definitely deranged. But so
Moses.
We know what
so I showed you all those pictures
that
Sachiko did.
I
really, really encourage people to go to BibleProphecyandTruth.com before we go there and watch this video.
Now stop at that right there.
Yeah.
This is for Sachiko. All right. Yeah. The hoe right there is who she described that she saw in that grocery store that one time.
Oh, really?
She looks like the girl.
The demon.
Well, the
girl behind the cash register?
The cashier.
Oh.
That's how she described her.
Demon possessed. Yeah. Revelation 17 and 18, the great whore, riding the power of the Antichrist. It's the organization led by the false prophet. It's the church of the false prophet that will join forces with the Antichrist. That's part of this picture right here. You know, watch the video, because it really, hopefully, will help you to see how all of these just fit together so well. So, God bless you all. Thank you for sticking it out with us and hanging out with us this long. And
we appreciate you sticking out. You're losing.
Hopefully, what?
You're losing concentration. You have brain fog.
Brain fog. Now, I was trying to say two things at once. I was trying to say thanks for hanging out with us and for sticking it out for an hour and a half. And I combined it all together into a nonsensical.
Next video says, thanks all. We're so happy that you stayed with us this whole time. Yeah, because I think you had to leave the next time or something. It's late in all those other countries. Because in Poland, it's like 2:30 in the morning.
It's like the middle of the night.
Sachiko stays with us. Mixed videos is, I'm assuming, in India, and it's getting late.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for being here.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
We'll pray real quick and we'll say goodbye. So thank you, Lord, for drawing these pictures for us. They're so amazing. You are amazing, Lord. Thank you for everything you've done, everything you're doing, and everything you're about to do, Lord. Use us, Lord, as your army to fight against the forces of darkness. Praise your holy name, Jesus. Amen.
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 Okay, American said, see y'all Wednesday if the world doesn't end. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, American, if you're lucky. 7 Catman's 777 says you are like a watchman on the wall of the city. God bless you.
Well,
thank you so much for being here.
That's Jane. My purpose, is to dispel the lies, to help people to wake up, to open their eyes.
Yeah. American, we love you, and we're so happy that
Yeah.
you're here because
Thanks for being here with us.
yeah, and
both
asking
of you.
questions
Yeah.
because that's really
Yeah.
important. Sachiko said, "Amen." Sachi,
Yeah.
know I love you, and
love you.
Adam,
We
we
love
love
you
you.
all.
Annie, Sissy, we
Yeah.
love you. Jay says, where did Jay? Jay just said something. He said, "Thanks, guys. Good updates." Jody, be careful driving.
Yeah.
And again, thank you to the ones who are participating in helping this ministry because
Yes.
we appreciate you guys.
are our brothers and sisters, our fellow soldiers in this battle.
Yes.
And we love you. We appreciate you. And that's really what we're looking for is other people to help fight this battle.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's so important. So Sachiko, Adam, Annie.
We appreciate you guys too.
We appreciate
the live stream.
you.
I never even thought of that. And you said we're gonna have live stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bible study.
I was I can write a lot better than I can speak. At least I think so. And it's easier to write because I don't have to, be here in front of the world trying to talk, and I've never been able to do that. But I give God all the glory.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that's giving me the words to speak. And I just love him. And I'm doing it for him and for you because I love you. I want you to know the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
And American said, I have enough questions to give Jesus a headache. So thanks for not booting me. We're not going to boot you. No.
And we really do appreciate questions because if you have them, other people do too. So, I love to answer them.
Learn.
Yeah, no. And that challenge, if you have a question or if you want to know something, because chances are there's other people that have the same kind of questions and want to know.
Yeah.
And then when he shows you where to go for the scripture or whatever, other people are hearing that. So
and really go to
there's times when I'll ask a question that I already know the answer to, but I'm thinking maybe somebody else is thinking.
Somebody else will hear the answer.
That's exactly right.
And literally, if you have questions, I've got hours and hours and hours of video. If you go into my playlists, you don't have to go try to peruse the whole video list. But if you go to the playlists on YouTube or Rumble, there's some specific categorized videos that you can watch those. If you watch all the videos on my playlists, you will have some knowledge. Your eyes will be open. And I'm not saying anything about me. This is not about Dan. This is about God's word and simply teaching God's word and dispelling the lies and the false teachers out there and just showing you in the scriptures where the truth is. So that's all I want you to do is to discover that. It's not about me. It's about you learning the truth. And I'm just here to show you the truth. That's right. It.
And Sachi said, I pray God gives me images which he wants us to see. She said, all of you are amazing servants of God. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for what you do. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm even going to tell you what I think about you because you already know, girl.
You and Adam.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing servants of God, our brother and sister.
Our brother and sister and friends.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Just like Diane.
Yeah. Oh, I love my
just
sissy
like,
poo.
You are the people that are with us in this fight. You're precious.
That's right.
Wonderful.
Very precious to us.
People of God.
The people of God. And that's the thing. And that's what the Bible says is to love the brethren. We love you guys. You're our family. Like I have a blood sister, but my relationship with her because of God makes it solid. And that is just she's precious to me. I'm very protective over here. And that's the way that I feel over Sachiko and Adam and everybody in chat, Jody, American, all you guys, mixed videos. We love you guys and everybody watching.
777 something.
777. We love you too. We love you too. God bless you.
We love you all, and all of you that don't contribute in the chat. That's perfectly
we know
fine.
You're there.
If you're watching, praise God, and we love you too. And we know, there's a lot of people that wrote and have told me they can't make it during these live streams, but they watch later. And that's, we love you all.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's and the ones that are participating is fine. That's just what you decide to do, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I pray for all of you. We need each other. Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
Sachi said
We
that.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do need.
We
Yeah.
need
time.
each other.
We do.
Absolutely.
So would you
Yeah.
kindly? Would you? You already know I need you, but I got you, and you're not going anywhere. So would you kindly smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with everybody that you can, okay? And then go to Rumble and start an account there because,
Yeah.
you know, we're
Because
going to
eventually I'm
get
going to say
off.
the wrong thing and YouTube's going to boot me. So,
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Sissy Poo, you can do what you want to do if you choose, but, oh gosh. Should I give her the floor?
Yes.
And then we're going to get out of here.
And don't laugh over it
I'm
this
trying
time.
not to. Okay. I'm going to try not to. She needs to go to bed. Go to bed.
Hi.
Oh, God.
Are you tired of being lied to? Well, if you are, you're just like me. You can go through thousands of videos online, and you're only going to find one place for the truth. It's BibleProphecyandTruth.com. You know, you can get a hold of Dan too. Yeah, if you have any questions or if you have any comments, just get in touch with Dan. Do it now, today.
She needs some magnesium.
At gmail.com. You can also join us on youtube.com/prophecy and truth, or go on over to rumble.com/Bible prophecy, and you'll see some really amazing videos. And the thing is you'll get the truth.
He's like ready to end.
Thank you, Diane. Would you please put the banner in?
You need to take some magnesium.
Get some sleep.
Oops on that.
So we're putting the banner up for all those that want to see it
She
in
needs
print.
some magnesium. She needs something. You need B1. You need to go to bed. Okay, so we're gonna leave right now, and I hope everybody can join us on Wednesday, 6:30 Eastern time. Enjoy the Sachi's laughing. Enjoy that eclipse thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but anyway,
It'll
so
be just a cloudy day.
it's just gonna be.
We're not really going
We're
to
not gonna
see
get
that
it.
much of it here. It's
No.
only going to light's only going to dim a little bit here.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, you might see a little bit more darkening, but yeah, because it's going to come
Well, it's a
closer
good
to
thing I
your
won't be
area.
driving. I'd hate to get into an accident.
Don't go anywhere.
Well, most cars have automatic headlights these days, so the lights will just come on and
Don't worry. It's gonna
It'll
be
be just-
nothing.
it'll be just like dust.
But whatever
is all
happens,
anyway.
they did it. On
Yeah,
that
if something
note-
does happen, it's because somebody did it.
because of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go now. So everybody, we will see you next Wednesday. Be there, be square. Love you, sissy,
Love you
so
all.
much.
God bless you.
Have a good week.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Goodbye.